Hi, I'm Martin, and welcome to Short Stories, brought to you by the National Taichung University of Science and Technology Language Center. Today's short story is called The Peasant and His Wise Daughter. It is a Grimm Brothers fairy tale about a very clever peasant woman who outwits a king. Come to think of it, that's actually not very hard to do. Most kings are a bit dim. Before I read about the wise woman, I will tell you the vocabulary and example sentences. After the story, I will read 4 listening comprehension questions. Okay, here we go. Vocabulary. Make one's case, or make a case for something. The mayor made a case for adding another MRT line. Be in someone's good graces. Be in someone's good graces. He works late to stay in the boss's good graces. Value. Value. You are my best friend, so I value your advice. Poppycock. Poppycock. Poppycock, the earth isn't flat, it's round. Foal. Foal. The farmer raised 3 foals this spring. Verdict. Verdict. The jury announced its verdict that the defendant was guilty. Have the guts to do something. Have the guts to do something. No matter how difficult the job is, he has the guts to do it. Shamefaced. Shamefaced. The king looked very shamefaced when he realized he was naked. Now the story. A long time ago in a faraway kingdom, there lived a poor peasant widower and his only daughter. Growing enough food to eat and paying the king's tribute was becoming difficult. The daughter suggested that they ask the king for more land. They met the king and the daughter made her case. The king listened and thought, "What a beautiful girl! I don't know what she's talking about, but I like hearing her voice." He then granted the daughter's request for additional land. While the peasant was plowing his new land, he found a golden mortar buried in the ground. "Wow," he said, "we should give it to the king as a gift to show him our gratitude." The daughter shook her head. "I don't think so," she said. "If we give him the mortar, he will definitely ask for the pestle, and we don't have it. It would be better if we just kept quiet about it." Her father waved his hand and said, "Phooey, with this gift, we will buy our way into the king's good graces." So the peasant presented the golden mortar to the king the next day. When the king saw it, he said, "It's so lovely, but aren't you forgetting something? Where's the pestle?" The peasant looked pale. He murmured that they hadn't found the pestle. The king grew angry and yelled, "Poppycock, you have kept it for yourself. Guards, take him to the dungeon." The poor peasant was now sitting in a dank cell and lamenting, "Why didn't I listen to my wise daughter?" Meanwhile, his daughter filed a petition to appeal his case. She even met the king face to face. The king was smitten with her again, but he was still angry. So he made her a deal. He would tell her a riddle, and if she solved it, not only would he let her father out of prison, but he would also marry her. However, if she lost, she would have to work in the royal kitchens for the rest of her life. She agreed to those terms. The king then announced the riddle. "Come back tomorrow, neither clothed nor naked, neither riding nor walking. neither on the road nor off it. The peasant girl went home and thought long and hard about the riddle. After a few hours, she snapped her fingers and said, "I've got it!" She took off her clothes and wrapped herself in a fishing net, so she was neither clothed nor naked. She then sat on a cart that was pulled by a donkey, so she was neither riding nor walking. And she was careful to keep the cart in the ruts in the road, so she was neither on the road nor off it. When the king saw that he had been beaten, he slapped his forehead and said, "My God, you are the cleverest woman I have ever met. I must make you my wife." The two were married the next day. Some time later, a case was brought to the royal court. The two farmers were arguing over the ownership of a foal. Farmer A's horse had given birth to a foal, but the foal ran away and was found in Farmer B's yard next to his oxen. Farmer B claimed that the foal was his because it was in his yard. Farmer A vehemently disagreed. Farmer B then said, "Clearly, a miracle has happened. My ox has given birth to a foal. Your Highness, would you deny this miracle and offend God?" The king twiddled his thumbs. After a few minutes, he announced his verdict. The foal belonged to Farmer B. This was quite a shock to Farmer A and everyone else at court. How could the king be so stupid? However, no one had the guts to say this out loud. Once the king had left the courtroom, the wise queen approached Farmer A and offered her help. He accepted, and she told him her plan. The next day, before the king went out for his morning ride, Farmer A was standing next to the road with a fishing net, just as the queen had commanded. When the king came out of the castle gate, the farmer started fishing with the net. When the king saw this, he laughed and said, "What on earth do you think you are doing?" Farmer A replied, "I'm fishing." The king retorted, "Fool, how can you fish on dry land?" Farmer A, following the queen's instructions, gave his answer. "It's as easy for me to fish on dry land as it is for an ox to give birth to a foal." The king sat there, looking shamefaced. He had finally realized how stupid he had been. He turned around and rode back into the castle. That afternoon, he issued a royal decree, overturning his previous decision, and gave the foal back to Farmer A. The problem with the foal bothered the king for many weeks. He felt embarrassed and angry. "I bet someone put him up to it, but who?" said the king to himself. Then he realized that it was his wife's idea. He ordered that she be brought to him. "You have made me look foolish in front of the whole kingdom. How could you? I no longer want you in my castle. I order you to return to your father's hut immediately." The queen asked for one favor before she left, that she be allowed to bring one thing with her from the castle. The king grumbled and said, "Okay, but only the thing that you value most." The queen agreed and handed him a drink. "I would like to offer you a toast to your good fortune," she said. The king gulped down the drink and pointed forcefully at the door. Before the queen took 3 steps, the king fell off his throne. She had given him a sleeping potion. When the king awoke, he was in the peasant's hut. He shouted, "What am I doing here?" The queen answered, "You told me to take only the thing that I valued most. That thing is you, my king." At that, the king's heart warmed and his anger disappeared. He forgave his wise queen and agreed to let her live in the castle again. Actually, he did more than that. He made her the chief minister of the entire kingdom. Now for the questions. Number 1. Why didn't the peasant girl want to tell the king about the golden mortar? A. She knew he would ask about the pestle. B. She hated the king. C. She was greedy. D. She wanted to find the rightful owners. The answer is A. She knew he would ask about the pestle. Question 2. Why did the king want to marry the peasant girl? A. She was very good at raising foals. B. She owned a lot of land. C. She was rich. D. She was clever and beautiful. The answer is D. She was clever and beautiful. Question 3. Who was the rightful owner of the foal? A. Farmer B. B. Farmer A. C. Both A and B. D. Neither A nor B. The answer is B. Farmer A was the rightful owner. Question 4. Why did the king order the queen to leave the castle? A. She was really a witch. B. She made him look bad. C. She poisoned him. D. She stole a foal. The answer is B. She made him look bad. Well, today's short story is now ended. And I don't know about you, but I've always wondered why that wise peasant woman agreed to marry such a stupid king in the first place. I mean, the guy is an idiot, and he's impulsive, and he does things out of anger that are pretty terrible, actually. I don't know why she's married to that guy. Oh, wait. I do know why. He's rich. All right. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.